You're tuning into It's a Vibe. Let the poetry lead you in. So today I'll be speaking with a mutual friend of mine, ChopxDice, who is a collage artist based in San Diego. As you know, on these art dialogue episodes, I love to showcase the local community and what they're doing and talk about art and how it can be a tool for positive change and activism. So ChopxDice's work definitely speaks on many levels and on topics of social justice and environmental issues. So I'd love to highlight any of the recent pieces you've been loving to create. One of my favorites is the skulls piece that you did because of its like interactiveness and the like pendulum ticking in the back with the pile of skulls. And when I took art history, that reminded me of something called memento mori, which is a reminder of death. What do you love most about that creative process, and maybe particularly about that piece?
That piece began when I realized that I need to make bigger art pieces. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know making big art pieces versus small art pieces is a whole different world. In a small art piece, you focus on detail and the viewer comes close and personal and looks at it. With a bigger art piece, you care less about the detail. Obviously, I want a clean finished product,
Mm-hmm.
but it attracts a whole new crowd. For some reason, just because a piece is bigger, some people take you more seriously. But in terms of the creative process, I loved building the frame, scanning the images, printing them really big, learning how to use Internet of Things like an Arduino device so that I could make a pendulum move. And I just wanted to get that creepy, haunted feeling in this art piece. And that was really fun. I love putting something dynamic in a static art.
Yeah, it's so much more immersive, more engaging, and we have this Orange County Modern Art Museum here in Costa Mesa, and I recently went there and they had an interactive piece with a record player where you can put the headphones in and listen to the records, and then they had a TV screen because they were doing multiple pieces on the lived experience of teenagers in the 90s and 80s, that like alternative culture, I guess, like the youth and what they advocate for and how they want to like see and change the world. So I wanted to get into another artwork of yours that you call Corporate Hellscape.
Hmm.
I think it's the perfect thing to discuss on how being an artist, you have to be informed about certain things in the world, and it kind of changes your world view when you look at a certain piece. It may inspire you to change your outlook on life and question those in power. Why do you think for art it's so important to have art that provokes these ideas and questions? Yeah.
That's a really good question. And there's a lot to it, but I'll do my best to keep it short.
Yeah.
First things first, I'd like to make a definition. An artist, to me, is somebody who dedicates time to make art consistently. I don't think an artist has a responsibility aside from expressing themselves. Now, for myself, my own standards, I believe I have the responsibility of, to an extent, capturing what's happening today. Art is a beautiful way of documenting what's going on in this time, in this place, what the culture's like, what the mood's like, because I feel like people that make art are fighting those who get to write history or shape how this time's being viewed. Now, in
Mhm.
terms of corporate health, sorry for the planes.
No, I didn't hear it.
Corporate hellscape shows a bunch of older white men in suits, and
Mhm.
they're in a hellscape and they're having a board meeting. And that's just such a relevant topic because there are lots of companies today that are on a global scale that only think about profit,
Mhm.
and they make product or have services that really don't benefit the world. If anything, it hurts the world. And this is
Yeah.
something that's so normalized that to me it's kind of weird. Like, why are we okay with this as the mass majority? We're just letting this minority of smaller companies and wealthier people do whatever they want to, or pollute whatever they want to, or destroy whatever they want to. And to me, it's just really odd. So I put it
Yeah.
in an art piece, mostly just to keep it a relevant topic.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of street art or poster art,
Mhm.
where our artists are more willing to do something maybe divisive to send a message.
Mhm.
Um, Even this is like way back, Francisco Goya, he did a lot of political art and things that were considered dark themes. Even even Banksy, someone the street artist that is anonymous but has the willingness to and braveness to critique what's happening in the world and yeah, again, make us think twice and inspire us to make that change, no matter if we're just one individual or not. And I'm guessing being an artist has changed your worldview as well.
Um, my world views remain the same.
I mean the same.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I've always been me,
Yeah.
but now I get to put my thoughts into something physical and colorful.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Something else that's close to my heart is like the well-being of our environment. And
Mhm.
I that's why I absolutely love your artwork titled World Ablaze and also the Nature's Recipe one, because it highlights the climate crisis and having a deeper meaning and connection to life itself. Can you tell me what you were trying to convey in both of these collages?
Definitely. Well, the root of it comes from something I was taught as a child, and I've heard of as a child over and over again until I believed it. And then I reached a certain age in my life where I thought to myself, this is nonsense. That belief was this hierarchy of consciousness, of uh,
Mm-hmm.
what really matters. And it goes a little something like this: a pyramid, at the bottom, there's the mineral
Mm-hmm.
realm, then there's the plants, fungi, they're grouped
Mm-hmm.
into one, then there are the animals, and at the peak, there are humans. And obviously, this diagram was made up by humans. And I hate it. I hate it. It's so ugly. It's not about whether it's true or not, or
Mm-hmm.
whether we're more conscious or not, but I don't like what this thought results. What I don't like about this is that it leads humans to thinking that they're better than the animals and nature and the minerals that
Mm-hmm.
we are also made up of. In making these art pieces that show nature being very delicate,
Yeah.
earth is on fire, is just a reflection on how this mindset has led to the destruction of this beautiful planet that we're on.
Yeah.
So, my intention with those art pieces is just to keep relevant the fact that we're not any better, we're not
Mm-hmm.
superior. Everybody
Yeah.
is here with the same purpose and they have the right to be here, and we're all made up of stardust. So destroying this beautiful planet really doesn't benefit anyone or anything. It's just a ego-based task.
Yeah. If we had this mindset, we also wouldn't be such a consumerist society and how you portrayed in the corporate hellscape. What is real wealth or what is our true priorities? I also have this vision and message of seeing nature as something we're all a part of. If we have this consciousness, it we have a responsibility to like steward the land and see us as a part of everything, kind of like that mycelium network,
Mhm.
how it's all connected. When you see like yourself as a reflection of nature or how we use metaphors of nature to describe certain things, I feel like it's not an accident. It's all deliberate and on purpose because we really are all of this part of the same creative force. So, I agree with you and I feel like it's not a pyramid, it's like a circle. It's like a network. um, yeah, there's a lot I can go into that as well, but next time. I wanted to get to another artwork of yours. I think as artists, it's important to reflect on how you want your art to impact your community. So, striking collage that you made, well, yeah, I guess this is a collage. The woman, life, freedom
Mhm.
one that comes to mind, and the cultural impact of it. It's this three-dimensional statement with the casket trapping the braids and the barbed wire. And that was another big artwork you made. So I wanted to ask, what messages or actions do you want your community to take away from this piece or others like it?
Messages I can answer. Actions is a little difficult because I've
Yeah.
still been looking for relevant actions for myself.
Yeah.
Uh, make
Mm-hmm.
this issue less relevant. But in making Woman Life Freedom, during that time, there was the nth amount of protests happening about women's protests in Iran. It's just happened so many times, nothing changes. The the Islamic Republic of Iran could be a little fragile in
Mm-hmm.
that they don't want certain people to have power or a voice because they know that they're a minority. They know that what they believe in, even though they rule the country, is not long lasting.
Mm-hmm.
And so in making that piece, I wanted to make relevant what's happening in Iran, specifically to the little girls. It's this is a little dark, but just because it's dark, it doesn't stop me from talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
In the Islamic Republic of Iran, which is the current government, they don't believe in killing virgins, virgin women. So a lot of these little girls that were protesting for not wearing their hijab would get raped before they were killed. This is
Mm-hmm.
just such a ugly, ugly thing that's happening, and it's been
Yeah.
happening for a while. And I don't think it's something that should just be like a spotlight or highlight news for a week and then on to the next topic. This was just really gross because I have a niece, I have a mom,
Mm-hmm.
I have sisters, and I have
Yeah.
cousins. It doesn't make sense to me how women are being treated in Iran. So the most important thing in making the art piece is to keep the subject relevant, to make it so people don't forget how privileged we are to be here, but also how difficult life must be in other countries, especially when it revolves around oppression.
Yeah. I, till this day, actually, every Sunday there's protest here down the street from me for Iran.
Nice. I love
And
that.
and it's still going, and I like cheer them on every week. I'm like so impressed with them, and they're protesting the whole government, like the whole system and whatever has been currently going on. So I feel like there's many things you can do to write to your congressman, which is something that I've been doing, and calling them at like almost every week on certain things. I think that art and protest, it's important to still have those things as a reminder that you can make a change. And, when your voice gets louder, and if they see it as something people care about, then something will get done eventually, or so there will be some movement to the cause. I was also doing an internship with a poverty alleviation group,
Mhm.
and they covered a lot of topics that were dark, and it was tough to read some of the stuff that I was researching to write these articles, but I did find a lot of like positives and a lot of like incremental progress that some of these third world countries were making when it comes to like women's rights and disabled rights, or just anyone like affected by poverty and the imbalance of power. This is one of the most important things about art, is it's not supposed to be all about decorativeness or beauty. It's also to showcase the darker things and make an impact. So the world can be a more beautiful place in the end. So, yeah, I love that. And I also know that you teach or have taught some workshops and you've had your art featured in galleries in San Diego. So, I wanted to also ask you, what is it like being a part of the San Diego art scene, and how has the creativity helped you live the life you want to live today? And how has meeting other artists and being immersed in that world changed your life a bit?
Great question. I've been making art consistently since the beginning of COVID. And up to today, I've made 470 something art pieces. And I like to
Yay.
um, making art. I know we're talking about the meaning and the impact of art and what art does.
Mhm.
Keep in mind, while we're talking about art, art is just the result of the creative process. For me, the goal is to achieve that creative process. Whether I make an art piece, whether I make a video for it, whether I produce something that ends up on my wall or a gallery wall or someone's house that bought it, really is just a bonus. The
Mhm.
main goal is just to be able to get into the flow state. This is the most important thing. So, in terms of San Diego, there are a lot of other people that have dedicated their lives or all their free time to being in the flow state. These artists are really cool. They're all over the place. They have different ages. I've noticed the nicer the area, like for example, La Jolla or Del Mar, their art is so predictable. Uh,
Mhm.
no hate,
Mhm.
everybody makes all sorts of art, but I like art that gives me that wow factor. In these wealthier areas, you see a lot of art of seagulls or sunset at the beach, and they're pretty cool, but I've seen it before. Something really cool about the San Diego art scene is that it has that more street art or, graffiti or raunchy, grungy style of art. You can find that in North Park, Ocean Beach. These are really cool people to hang out with. They're all young, active, and making things that I haven't seen before. Some of it could be ugly, but I only call it ugly because I have never seen anything like it before, and I don't know how else to describe it.
Mhm.
Really exciting for me. Now, in terms of an artist that has been slowly breaking into the San Diego scene, it was really scary at first for me to walk around and ask gallery owners if I could join a group show or have my own art show. I must have asked 20 to 25 different galleries or spaces,
Mhm.
including cafes, including pizza shops,
Yeah.
and they all said no for a long time. But as soon as one person said yes, that cascaded to so many different good things. And fast
Mhm.
forwarding 3 years, I finally got my first solo art show. It's
Ah.
happening in Ocean Beach,
Oh
San
my
Diego.
gosh, looks so good. Congrats.
Thank you. I'm gonna have my entire catalog in this show. It's in Ocean Beach, San Diego on September 3rd.
Okay.
It's gonna have everything trippy, psychedelic, novelty, gothic,
Mm.
vintage. All my artworks of different themes, different styles will be up. And all the art friends that I've made along the way will be there too. So if you or anybody else plans to break into the San Diego art scene, this art show would be a great place to meet some really important people for that.
I love that that's happening, and like we're determined and persistent about something that you really wanted, and that's just awesome to see the results of it. And I also wanted to touch back to you when you were talking about the flow state and the process of your art. And I feel like that is the key as well. Like the process is the art. And that's exactly as an artist how I feel the most alive and the most in tune with everything in the world. So I appreciate you talking about that. And I can't wait for your show in September. Thank you for having this chat with me today. And these conversations are like what I live for. And I love supporting artists like yourself who like use their creativity for advocacy and just, the joy of living and experiencing the world. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for sharing your platform with me, Melody. I really enjoyed this conversation.